This is recording 688-688. Again, you can find me at Christina Stacia. ChristianaStatia 918.com. Okay, so I was remembering when Charles Manson in history, when he got into a fight with Dennis Wilson. He wrote a song and he wanted him to produce it. Dennis Wilson was in the Beach Boys. You know how obsessed Charles Manson is with the Beach Boys and the Beatles. Anyway, so I'm like, let me go find out what that song was. And it's right on the internet. So, because there's probably something to it. And again, I'm making my reports right now. And I'm going to post it online immediately because Jean Jernigan Roberts, the actual leader of Charles Manson, and has been since the late 60s, is on with all her nasty little fucking Manson family friends. So they're on trying to show off, and there are people also on threatening her life, and then in turn, she threatens me. So then again, she gets threatened. Her and her people are getting threatened. They're tired of it. They want this stopped. So anyway, so one of the songs he wrote was called Cease to Exist. So there's a whole bunch in it, but a lot of it that I see instantly is adjective, meaning I've already decoded it a million times before. So I'm just going to point out the new stuff that I see, or some of this is still... Anyway, so Cease to Exist. So, you know, 2 is XO, right? And then you see Tex Watson in it. And then this connects, what he's saying is the World Trade Center, will cease to exist. Okay, so, and he's also saying Caesar. He's referring to Planet of the Apes, okay? So, CL code Planet of the Apes and CL code Caesar. CL code exit, the exit puzzle that goes to the World Trade Center attack. I decoded the exit puzzle, and I was on Inside Out when I was decoding that. And like I told you, I was on with African Americans. They were on with me every day, and Jean would sit in the background and plan to steal everything. Anyway, and she'd be in the background telling her lies and stuff and pretending to be people that she wasn't. Anyway, and then she tried to actually blame African Americans, and I'm like, they did not do this. You did it. Like, I'm like thinking like advance a couple years back to that point. Like, I knew they didn't do it because they were figuring it out with me because they were freaking out. But then later on when I was in Texas, and I had figured out that it was Manson for sure, because I already had the building blocks decoded. When I figured out for sure it was Gene Roberts, it was Manson, I'm like, they did not do that, because she kept trying to blame him, and I'm like, they did not do that. You did it, Gene. Stop blaming everyone else. You fucking did it. You did it using artificial intelligence. There's even video of you in a two-way screen that people are holding on to. One side is the planes crashing into the towers, and the other side is you at your artificial intelligence terminal crashing the plane. You did it. Never mind all the decode that I've done. Anyway, so there's the exit in there. You can see that also. You have to see this picture that, you remember how I told you how, like, my dad, he's like, here's pictures, family pictures. And then he gets ice raped, so I get handed certain pictures that Jean wants to make sure that I have. And then she, like, tries to creep me out with all the pictures. Okay, so one of them is a picture of my dad. Like, she's literally bragging about doing the World Trade Center attack, standing next to my dad. It makes me sick. It's a picture of my dad, and it's a picture of Jean, and there's an American flag in between them. No, there's an exit sign in between them. He has on some military gear, so he's got an American flag on him somehow. I don't remember what he was wearing, but he's got something with the American flag on. And there's the exit. There's a big gigantic exit sign in between them. And you can look at their faces and you can see she overdid his face. And she tried to underdo her face. You can tell she's guilty. And you can tell she thinks she's slick as hell getting away with it. Just like her in her Facebook present day, her Facebook profile picture, sitting next to a race car driver that she's holding hostage. And just like, it's just no big deal, just no big deal. Well, she like taunts my mom's side of the family who loves NASCAR. And she purposely has her Navy uniform. Why? On multiple reasons: to seek fake sympathy, to appeal to NASCAR, to act like she's just all in cahoots with my family. Today, she desperately tried to claim that she was related to me. No, she's not related to me. She's not, there's no part of anything you're running, Jean, that is legal. You're not related to me. The bitch is a psychopath. Anyway, and her hair's up, her hair's short, so she used that for CGI so she can disguise her look and change faces and outfits out and all that and lie to people about who she is using AI. So anyway, if you do the cross reduction and you combine C's and center, because it says center to exist, what's left is ASNTR. Okay, so instantly I see Nostradamus. Okay, and then I see Sinatra, and I'm like, oh my God, she's trying to blame the mob. So the letters that are left are IA. And then I'm going, oh my God, because Frank Sinatra, she used Frank Sinatra's first name. So what's left is frankincense. That goes to the Oklahoma City bombing. So she's bragging about doing the World Trade Center attack and the Oklahoma City bombing. Then also in that I see Coast Exit, and then it looks like it says Asia. It looks like it says Asia. There's probably a lot more here, the IA, but it looks like it says Asia. And then somebody said Asia entrance. It looks like she was going to try to con Asia somehow and get them to go along with her, but they have said no. Besides what she's done here locally, which I think they're like anybody else, you know, either they're stuck in it or can't get out of it or whatever, but all the big dogs of the world will handle it. So Gene Roberts is screwed. Anyway, also he wrote a song called Bluebirds Over the Mountain. So instantly I see MK Ultra, MK Bluebird, and then BOTM, and then if you take all the initials, it's BSORTEMN. So again, see my recordings, see my recordings, see all decode on Tiananmen Square. So again, there's Tiananmen Square, and then it also looks like there's Boris Yeltsin in it, and then Bluebirds Over the Mountains. So then that also goes to somewhere in Rainbow, and remember Rainbow Lake, Arizona. Then also there's also the heavy metal band Rainbow. And then also in that, if you look at the initials in that, you can see Boston, Massachusetts. And then there's another one, Never Learn Not to Love. So again, with the XO, then you've got the never, okay? So that even goes back even further. Then this has tomorrow in it. So it's a reference to the man who saw tomorrow, and Nostradamus has tomorrow in it. So, but when he was in jail, okay, and I was little in grade school, when she wrote the whole never forget theme around me, and I decoded that full page. Okay, so, and it was over me with, let me see if that's even in here. I was making music with glasses. I was pouring music in glasses and teeing on glasses in that little storage, in the little outside in the backyard, the little outdoor storage thing that looks like a Ted Kaczynski hideout. Okay, see all code around that whole thing, see all recordings. So she was like spying on me, using ice on me, and I was playing with my little Sesame Street egg beaters, and I had the Paz Easter egg die, and I was making music with the glasses. I had different amounts of water in the glasses. Well, I decoded all of that out, and the whole thing of Never Forget is all there. Okay, so this goes back even further, because now you see the word never there. And never probably, she's probably doing, because like how she did you with when she ice raped you to run away when you were in grade school. Okay, when I was ice raped to run away in grade school at East Glow, when I packed my Barbies in the peanut butter and jelly, okay, and the Wonder Bread. Okay, so she's probably making a reference to Peter Pan. Okay, so the Never Never Land is probably what she's using there. So, oh, there it is right there too, Never Never Land. Look, that Neverland, the plane. And then remember what she said, I never say amen. You're just fucking sick. So anyway, I mean, she's a terrorist and she's a trafficker. So anyway, and then you can see early references to her planning to change MK Ultras or Skunk Waters. Skunk Works, there is Blackwater Skunk Works. And that all goes to the Blackwater Skunk Works ciphers that I decoded from when I was little AIW 70s in grade school. Stop trying to steal my voice, who's ever on. I'm recording this. This is my decode. It is not you freaking terrorist decode. Okay, so anyway, that would go to the Learning Institute and all that. That would go to Blackwater. And then Bluebirds, Rainbow Lake. And basement, because she did the first World Trade Center attack too, where she bombed the basement. There's the basement right there. Basement. In Bluebirds Over the Mountain. And then remember the blueprints? That's in here too. And then flashing forward to 1986 when it rained real bad in Chicago and it flooded. And then my dad's basement flooded and then his blueprints got ruined. Okay, so that's the end of this recording.